Alright, little change of scenery here. Okay, let's continue on with the rest of our lesson. So, let's move on to exercise 5. Okay, we see a diagram of one of our sentences with a series of words, right? Okay, see how the direct object line forks into 3 separate lines, okay? The direct objects are written in order from the top line to the bottom line, okay? So tomatoes is on the top because it comes first in the list, then peppers in the middle, and eggplants at the bottom because that's their word order in the sentence. It goes tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, okay? So the direct objects are joined together by a conjunction. Remember, we have 3 conjunctions, and, or, and but. Okay, and, or, and but. Here, the conjunction that connects them is and. Okay, tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants. So notice that and goes in that little triangle. Okay, right? When all 3 kind of fork off in different directions, and is in that little triangle that brings all of the forks back together. Okay? So, exercise 6. I'm going to diagram some of these with you, and then we'll go over them again. So, if you need to pause me, that's fine. It will probably take me a second or two to diagram it on my whiteboard, so up close and personal. So be sure, so you can probably just keep me on, though I'm probably annoying, so you can pause me. Okay, first one, the farmer advised you, him, and me. Friendly reminder to start with your verb. Ooh, I need to write smaller. This isn't going to be the prettiest diagram you've ever seen. Okay. Oof. All right. Our verb, advised. That's where we start. Who advised? Who's our subject? Who did the advising? The farmer. So farmer. Farmer advised. Which farmer? The farmer. So that's an adjective that describes farmer. Advised who? Who is our direct object? Who's receiving the advice? Advised you, him, and me. Those are 3 direct objects. So we have them all on our fork. You came first in the sentence, him next, and me last. So it's written top to bottom. You may not be able to read this, but that's our conjunction and, which joins them all together. Okay, let's do one more together and then I'll set you loose. So this is exercise 7. The tastiest vegetables are peas, carrots, and broccoli. I'm not sure I agree. I think if I made a list, tastiest vegetables would be asparagus, by far, Brussels sprouts, and is an onion a veg? An onion should be a vegetable. Onions would actually be like number 1. I love onions. Okay, anyway, let's stick with what they've got. So, I'm going to diagram it here. Notice here we don't have an action verb. So these will not be direct objects. They will be predicate, adjective, predicate nominatives. In this case, they're predicate nominatives. Okay. All right. First thing first, find our verb. This is actually this is a linking verb. It links the subject to something in the predicate that renames it. So we have linking verb are. What are? What's the subject? Vegetables. Vegetables are. Vegetables is our subject. Vegetables are what? Vegetables are, first, the describes which vegetables. Tastiest is an adjective that describes the vegetables. They are what? Peas, carrots, and broccoli. Those are predicate nominatives, and look at my slanted line. Predicate nominatives that rename our subject vegetables. So peas, carrots, and broccoli are all predicate nominatives. They're joined together by our conjunction and notice they're in order of how they appeared in the sentence. So peas first, carrots second, and then broccoli last. Okay, so go ahead and do the rest of exercise 7 on your own. And then, and exercise 8. So the only difference between 7 and 8, 7, it has predicate nominatives that you're listing out. Exercise 8, they're predicate adjectives. So instead of just renaming the subject, they're describing the subject. So that's the only real difference there. I think you'll be able to get it without going back over it. So go ahead and do 7 and 8 on your own. Pause me because I'm going to move on. And then have a parent or somebody look over it if you're still confused or don't think you got it right or just want to make sure that you got it right. I'm sure they'll figure it out. So consult with them if you need to. Pause me. I'm going to keep going. Okay. So exercise 9. We need to complete the sentences with 3 direct objects, predicate nominatives, or predicate adjectives of your choice. So remember, when we do this, we need to separate the items in a series with commas. Commas are big. The last 2 items. So if you're listing things, when you get to the last 2, you need a comma and a conjunction. Remember conjunctions and or but. Okay. And or but. Not spelled the same way as the other kind of but I know you'll still laugh. Okay. And or but. So, first sentence, what places would you like to travel to someday? I will visit. I'm going to fill this out too so you'll see the items in a series separated by commas and a conjunction. So you need probably at least 3 places to write down. Separate them by commas, include a conjunction. You can check yours against mine. I will visit. Where will I visit? Okay. I wrote down mine. I will visit Georgia. the country, not the state, Georgia, comma, Israel, comma, and Norway. So here, notice, list one place, comma, another, comma, conjunction, and Norway. Okay, that's how you should list it out. Sentence 2. What are the titles of your 3 favorite books? Remember, with titles, you capitalize them and you underline them. If you were typing, you would put them in italics. But since you're not typing, you're writing them down, you need to underline the titles of books. So write down your 3 favorite books, separate them by commas, and add a conjunction. I'm going to answer this because I love books, and so I'm just going to also write this down. Okay, you're really going to see my Russian affinity here. Okay, my favorite books are Petersburg, comma, The Brothers Karamazov, comma, and War and Peace, period. Okay, we have comma, comma, conjunction, and then your final list in your series. So go ahead and answer 3 and 4 on your own. Continuing to do the same thing. And pause me if you need to. I'm going to move on to exercise 10. So in exercise 10, you're diagramming those sentences that you just wrote out. Okay, this is basically like what you were doing in earlier exercises, because it's lists things listed in a series. Some of them are direct objects, some of them are predicate nominatives, predicate adjectives, but we'll have that fork structure again. So I'm going to diagram my first one where I would visit with you, so that's number 1, and you can check your answer against mine. First things first, our verbs. We have 2, will, visit. So a helping verb, will, visit. Okay, will visit. We wouldn't just say I visit, so we need a helping verb. I will visit. Who's our subject? Who's doing the visiting? I, that's our subject, will visit what or who? These are direct objects, right? Because visit is an action verb. Action verbs have direct objects. Visit Georgia, Israel, and Norway. Listed them in order of how I said them. Have a conjunction. You can diagram the rest on your own. Again, if you just want someone to look over them, you can talk to your parent. Have a wonderful rest of your day.